The forest was thick with whispers, the kind that crawled under the skin and made hearts pound in the dead of night. But the townsfolk of Ravensfall were used to it, accustomed to living on the edge of the obscured and the forbidden. Lately, though, there was an unease even they couldn't shake. Word had spread of vanishing neighbors, gutted livestock, and the unmistakable stench of rot hanging like a curse in the air. Then came the last full moon, and with it, the discovery that turned whispers into screams. Sheriff McCready had seen many things in his years, but nothing could prepare him for the sight of human bones picked clean, scattered like twigs across the clearing behind the old mill. They called him Methuselah, an ancient cannibal who'd lived in the deep woods for as long as anyone could remember. Rumor had it he'd made a pact with dark forces, exchanging his humanity for unnaturally long life and supernatural strength. No one dared to confront him, not even McCready, whose gut twisted with the responsibility to protect his town. But something more sinister had risen, the dead, no longer content to rest. A plague of zombies, emaciated and ravenous, born from Methuselah's foul magic, spread through Ravensfall like a diseased wind. It began subtly, sudden deaths, bodies vanishing from graves, but it soon escalated to horrific attacks, families slaughtered in their homes. Among the survivors were Sophie, a sharp-tongued herbalist with a knack for making poisons, and Bill, a grizzled trapper who had more secrets than teeth. They formed an uneasy alliance, joined by others too desperate or too foolish to flee while they still could. Together they faced the grim reality. They were no longer fighting just to live, but to quell an unholy union of flesh and decay. They trekked into the heart of the forest, where shadows seemed to breathe and trees bled dark sap. At the center, in a clearing bathed in eerie moonlight, stood Methuselah. His eyes were hollow, empty voids of inhuman hunger. Around him, a sea of the undead moaned, their decay thickening the very air they defiled. The battle was swift and bloody. Sophie's poisons were barely enough to slow the ghastly tide, while Bill's traps ensnared limbs as often as they did the undead. The night churned with chaos, the line between the living and the damned blurring with every scream. Sheriff McCready arrived with a desperate plan. A final stand, one last gambit to end Methuselah's reign of terror. With torches blazing, they sought to set the forest alight, to purge it with flame. But Methuselah was a force of nature, and as the inferno spread, he summoned his full might, roaring with otherworldly fury. In the end, it took McCready's sacrifice to bring Methuselah down. Grappling with the ancient cannibal, he plunged them both into the heart of the flames. The fire, fed by dark sorcery and righteous wrath, consumed them with a howl that echoed to the heavens. As dawn broke, Ravensfall was a smoldering ruin, its people shattered but freed from the immediate nightmare. They buried their dead, rebuilt their homes, and whispered prayers to the forgotten gods, hoping against hope that the darkness had truly been banished. But deep in the ashes something stirred, proof that evil once born is not so easily extinguished. And so the forest kept its secrets, waiting ever patient for the next full moon.